Shaun Crisscross here, just wanting your thoughts on the acquisition of Bakare Samake. How pleased are you with those transfer proceedings? I'm not pleased. I'm off. This guy was supposed to be our Sergio Cadena replacement. My scouts have done me dirty. They told me this guy has 4-star potential. He's only got 3-star potential. He's no better than Bjarki Bjarkason or Ledson. We do not need another Bjarkason or Ledson. So if my scouts are watching this, you better have a better player when I get back from Hogwarts. Otherwise, you guys are fired. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 73 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode we have signed a few new players to the club, one of them not too pleased with. Thank you very much, Scouts. And we have also got the second qualifying round taking on Žalgiris Vilnius of Lithuania, a rematch from 2 years ago in Champions League qualifying. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already or are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But as I said, the game in today's episode, hopefully over 2 legs, not like yesterday where we wiped the floor with the Hammer Spartans. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner. But today we take on Žalgiris Vilnius from Lithuania, a team which we did beat in the first qualifying round of the Champions League 2 seasons ago, 5-0 in the away leg, followed up by 1-0 at home, so a 6-0 aggregate win. Be interesting to see how much we have improved since then and how far these guys have improved as well. But this is another tie we really should be winning. But before we do get into that, we are going to have a domestic recap. But before that, we have got some transfers to bring you guys. We have gone past the start of the new European season. It does mean that we have signed a few players who were on trial at the club, as well as try to replace the departing Sergio Cadena, who is here but only on loan from Chelsea. And we make our way over to the transfer centre to show you guys what has happened in terms of the outs. Just a few young players going out on loan, so nothing really has happened there since we did get the money for Sergio Cadena. But we have signed a few players coming in on free transfers, as well as a new left winger who I'm not too happy with. It is fair to say my scouts have done me dirty, as you probably could tell by the intro. First off, a very good free transfer, this one. This is Maurizio Goffi. He is an Italian midfielder, 3.5-star current ability, does have 5-star potential, albeit that last star is white. He looks like a really good Mazzala option, could be a player who does usurp Martin Swiderski here at the club in the near future. He is a quite promising player, really happy to get him on a free transfer in a squad player contract, and he has spent some recent time, all of his career up till now, at Inter Milan. So that is a very good bit of business, getting Maurizio Goffi on a free transfer. We also signed a young English attacking midfielder in Ozzy Robinson, only 1.5-star current ability, but 4.5-star potential. We are looking to send him out on loan to keep developing. He has spent his time so far at Manchester City, so 2 good free transfers midfield-wise there for the future. Maurizio Goffi, though, will be a player who could work his way into the first team a lot sooner than Ozzy Robinson, based on that current ability. And then we have the replacement for Sergio Cadena. So a little bit of background to this. We did have a left winger on trial at the club. We offered him a contract, but just after we offered him a contract, Porto and Paris Saint-Germain offered him a contract, and you can tell how that would have gone. He decided to go with Paris Saint-Germain. He was a 19-year-old from Serbia with 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. Would have been a great replacement for Cadena on a free transfer. That was not to be. Had a bit of a look through our shortlist. This player looked like he had the most ability, looked like he had a better skill set for the inverted winger role and a higher scout rating compared to anyone else in that position. And that player is Bakare Samake. We have spent £110,000 on this guy. Could rise up to £135,000 if he plays a certain amount of games for the club, but that is definitely not going to happen because he is bang average. 2.5-star current ability, 3-star potential, isn't even at the club currently. He is on international duty. In terms of his attributes at the moment, they're not actually that bad, but it's his potential which really stings. Our scouts told me that he had about 4.5-star, 5-star potential. They were clearly wrong. It was a pretty recent scout report too, so they have done me right dirty there. Bakary Samake, a bit of a bust already. It's looking like we may as well just persevere with the likes of Bjarkason and Ledson ahead of this guy, who would take a little bit of getting up to speed here at the club. Luckily though, we do still have £733,000 in the transfer budget and quite a bit of wage as well, so we could bump that up. So what I think we're going to do during today's episode is see if we can find a backup left winger who is a bit more similar to Sergio Cadena with a lot more potential, but fair to say that Bakary Samake transfer is going to go down as one of the poorer ones in the save. Not quite sure if it's the worst. I still think the one that I did for Bjorn Boggy Goodness on £2.4 million for a striker who again has dropped to being third choice at the club is probably the worst bit of business that we've done. That was a lot of money for a striker not getting much game time, but Bakary Samake not too far behind considering he is supposed to be a replacement for Sergio Cadena, who went to Chelsea worth 30 odd million. He is, as I said, pretty darn average, but that's what we've done transfer wise since the end of yesterday's episode. As I said, hopefully by the end of this one we will have a much better backup left wing option in the future for when Sergio Cadena does leave us after his loan from Chelsea does expire at the end of the domestic season. A quick look at our form since the end of yesterday's episode. We have played just the one game. It was in the Mulker-Bickerin fourth round against Fjolnir from the second division, and we did pick up a pretty comfy win here with a first half goal to Mousy Martins. At the moment here at the club, we have two strikers in really good touch, both him and Rubio. They look very good at the moment. Frederick Larsen came on late to seal things in the 94th minute, and we make our way through to the quarterfinals, a big quarterfinal tie in the Mulker-Bickerin, taking on Valarakivik, and they have some Conference League qualifying coming up. If we have a look, they are taking on AEK Larnakas, who are from Cyprus. Having a look at how the other Icelandic teams have drawn in that Conference League qualifying. Over to HK, they take on Borak Banja Luka, who are a team, if we go and have a look, who are from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the other team in Conference League qualifying are Nuts KR, and they look like they have a much tougher tie taking on Pex Volley from the Netherlands. Those are how the other teams in Iceland have drawn for their start of European qualifying in the second qualifying round of the Conference League, which we should be able to bring you guys at the start of tomorrow's episode, the results of those ties. Going into this match, we have no injury concerns at all, still at full strength, and we will come back shortly for the first leg of our second qualifying round in the Champions League from the Fylkis Vola against Žalgiris Vilnius. And here is the team sheet for this first league. It's exactly the team that we put out for the first leg of yesterday's episode, the game which you did see me do the live commentary for, where we did win 13-0. It's a pretty similar bench as well. No familiar names on the other side. Hopefully another pretty comprehensive victory for us here. Up to the 18-minute mark, we do have the first highlight in this game, a throw-in inside the final third. We are going to be forced into a substitution off the back of this. Nicolussi Caviglia down to a red heart. Werner Bayer is probably going to come on for him. We'll just make sure that Caviglia doesn't pick up a serious injury in this stage of Champions League qualifying. We should be able to get on fine without him, and we play that ball over to Patrick Nygaard, knocking it about nicely here inside the final third. Ian Carlo puts that in for Arnason. His header goes just over the bar, and we will make that substitution as discussed before. Bayer for Caviglia, still 0-0 here after 18 minutes. And shortly off the back of that substitution, we do have another highlight. This one, a goal kick from Žalgiris Vilnius. They pump that out to our right-hand side. We will try and get something going down that side, but Ian Carlo's ball over the top is dealt with by the Lithuanian opposition, and they try and get something going, but a good interception there by Mbiyamba, and we look to settle things down this right-hand side. Will be interesting to see how we get on against the team which we did defeat 6-0 on aggregate over 2 legs in the year which we did make the Champions League 2 years ago before dropping back down to the Europa League last year after losing out to Young Boys in the playoff. Of course, that actually ended up being quite good for us, sneaking our way into the Conference League and then getting to the final against Brighton. Nice ball there, though, for Benjamin Rubio. It is poor Stein Arnason with the assist, and at the 20-minute mark, Benjamin Rubio has his 15th goal of the Champions League, just a little bit into his third game of this year's competition, and we do make it 1-0 in the home league, just getting something going down that left-hand side after taking a fair while to switch the play from the right. Benjamin Rubio yet again into the bottom right corner, 1-0 Volsungur after 20 minutes. And up to the half-hour mark, it is still 0, also not going quite as well as it was in yesterday's episode, but they pump it deep and we are back in possession, controlling this game fairly well, but it would be nice to have a little bit more of an advantage going into the second half here in this home league. They do win a header there down our right-hand side, but it only falls to Ian Carlo, and then we get it up to Patrick Nygaard, back to Rubio. Ian Carlo again here down the right-hand side. Can he find someone inside the box? Plays it back for Galtason. 1-2 between him and Carlo. Tries to pick out Anason at the far post. Comes off the crossbar. Good chance for us there. Meza cannot keep it in. Still 1-0 just after the half-hour mark. And now 35 minutes gone. We do have a free kick 10 minutes before half-time in this first leg at one of our home grounds away from home. And we try and get something going again here down this left-hand side. Meza plays that forward for Frederick Larson. Can't quite put a ball into the mixer, but Meza can buy with a header. It is cleared off the line there by one of their defenders. Ian Carlo tries to catch the goalkeeper off after committing to that header, but it goes high and wide. 8 minutes left of the first half, and we are still 1-0 up. And that is half-time in the first leg of the second qualifying round of the Champions League. Only up by 1-0. It's a little bit disappointing off the back of what we did in yesterday's episode, but our opposition have not threatened us yet, so we'll tell the boys they're doing well, but we can do better, and hopefully we'll extend that lead throughout the second half. 57 minutes gone. We have our first highlight here of the second half. Another goal kick to Žalgiris Vilnius. Gabriel Korbro does win that header, but they do get possession back here to the Lithuanian side in the blood red uniforms. They pump it deep, but Imbiamba flicks that back to Sarah Fellini, and we look to build from the back here and hopefully extend our lead coming up to the hour mark in this game. Still well and truly in control, but only with a 1-goal advantage, so they can certainly still find a way back into this tie, which we do not want, especially considering we dealt with these guys fairly comfortably 2 years ago in Champions League qualifying. Nice ball there from Rubio for Nygaard though, and he tucks it away yet again in that bottom right corner. That seems to be our preferred side so far in Champions League qualifying this year, and that does make it 2-0. That is that cushion goal that we are after. Good pass up there from Galtas onto Rubio. Nygaard, there's too much pace for the defence, slots it away nicely. 2-0 Volsungur coming up to the hour mark of the first leg. And up to the 76-minute mark, this highlight starting off exactly like the first highlight in this half did. We have changed our mentality and gone to a higher tempo to try and put this tie to bed. Good chance there for Frederick Larson. He somewhat gets brought down there, and it is a penalty, so we do have a chance to extend this to a 3-0 advantage from the spot. It will be our captain, Benjamin Rubio. Can he tuck this away? Straight down the middle of the goalkeeper, goes to the left, and we make it 3-0 at the 77-minute mark. We are going to make a change just before we do see the replay of that penalty. Imbiamba down to a red heart. Samuel Afosu will come on for him, but that is a more comfortable scoreline after the first leg of this tie at home. 3-0 to Volsungur. Benjamin Rubio just slowing his penalty straight down the middle of the goalkeeper. Goes one way, and Benjamin calls his bluff. 3-0 in this first leg with just over 10 minutes left. And not too long off the back of that penalty, we are going to make our last substitution. Porstein Arnason down to a red heart. We have no more midfield options on the bench, but I think that Pat Ainscoe won't be terrible in that Mazzala role, so we will bring him on for Patrick Nygaard. Not much difference between those two in the Mazzala role. That's our last substitution. Still 3-0 up with 10 minutes left of this first leg. And that is full time in the first leg of the second qualifying round of the Champions League. A fairly comfortable 3-0 win, starting to pick things up a bit more in the second half. Žalgiris Vilnius not really threatening us too much, so that is exactly the sort of scoreline we want to go into the away leg with. We will be 3-0 up, should be able to back up our first team for the most part, and we'll come back for that second leg unless something else happens in between now and then. And we are back because we have signed a much better backup left winger option now. This is a player who was transfer listed by AC Milan. That meant that his price has been steadily dropping towards the end of their transfer window in Italy, and we have picked them up. This is Chaka Traore, 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. That is a lot more like I was looking for in a backup to replace Cadena in behind Fredrik Larsson. He comes here having spent his recent time at AC Milan after starting his career off for a few years at Parma in Italy as well. Attribute-wise, he actually pushes Fredrik Larsson quite close in terms of that starting spot for the first team, which is exactly what we want. Only 22 years old, no issues with him being non-EU because Sergio Cadena was also non-EU, and as I said, he has really good potential of 4.5 stars. He looks like a much better backup option. Probably means we will try and shift on Bakare Samaki at our earliest opportunity as soon as someone comes in with a reasonable offer for him. As I said before, not a great transfer there. We will try and get some money out of that before he eventually leaves, otherwise on a free transfer. But that is a much better backup signing to replace Sergio Cadena. Chaka Traore joining the club, and he will work his way into the Champions League squad for the group stages when Sergio Cadena does leave about 2/3 of the way through the group stages of the Champions League or the Europa League or the Conference League, depending on where we do end up for this upcoming European season. While we are here, we have played one game in between the two legs of this Champions League tie. It was in the league away from home at Proto Reykjavik. We conceded a penalty in the 31st minute, which did mean the scoreline got back to 1 all after Kevin Mousy Martins opened the scoring on the 18-minute mark, but Pat Ainscough got one back for us before half-time, and Mousy Martins completed his hat-trick in the second half, so we pick up a 4-1 win, and what that means for the league table is we are still clear by 3 points on top, but with 2 games in hand over HK, so that gap is actually a little bit better than it does look on the league table at the moment. But we will come back shortly for the second leg from Lithuania, 3-0 up against Žalgiris Vilnius. And a quick run through of the team sheets again for the second leg. We have made the one change. Galtason's just a little bit injury prone at the moment, so Christian Bungard can come in for him, but that is our only change, not paying too much attention to the opposition with no familiar names. And hopefully we can kick on off the back of that 3-0 win in the first leg. And we do have a highlight straight from the kickoff. We are kicking off today in the all-black Žalgiris Vilnius in the white and green here in Lithuania, and Bungard gets an early taste of the action. We play that forward to Nygaard. It's a missed header. Benjamin Rubio's able to slot that away in the bottom right corner. Yet again, he just absolutely loves that corner of the goal. I think that set his 40th goal of the season, which is some effort, just past the halfway stage of the domestic season, albeit that's off the back of 16 goals now in the Champions League, and that is a dream start after 18 seconds. 1-0 on the day, 4-0 on aggregate. And up to the 10-minute mark, we were on the attack. The Žalgiris Vilnius goalkeeper pumps that deep, but only as far as Alejandro Meza. Just hoofs one deep there for Fredrik Larsson and gets the ball back now. Arnason Watts in far post for Nygaard. Comes off the underside of the crossbar somehow. Doesn't find its way into the back of the net, but we are still in a very comfy position. 4-0 up on aggregate, but hopefully we can win this second leg as well, as no doubt all these wins will be helping the coefficient, and that could help us get inside that top 15 by the end of the year. Another good chance there for Nygaard, forces a good save out of the Lithuanian side's goalkeeper. We will see what happens from this corner. Nygaard in there for Imbayamba. His header also goes over the bar, still 4-0 on aggregate after 14 minutes of the second leg. And at the 16-minute mark, we have another corner here. Nicolusi Caviglia putting this one in, and Fredrik Larsson gets his head on the end of that. Not the person you'd expect us to score a goal from a corner, and in fact that goal has been disallowed because Arnason is offside, so it remains 1-0 on the day, 4-0 on aggregate at the 20-minute mark of the second leg. 26 minutes gone, we have a throw-in inside the final third. Larsson finds Rubio, head, flicks it on for Gabriel Corbo. Rubio gets an assist to go alongside his goal, and this time the goal will stand. It is 2-0 on the day, 5-0 on aggregate, and we are just cruising our way through to the third qualifying round of the Champions League. That does, of course, mean we would guarantee a spot in the group stages of a European competition this season, which is exactly what we are after. 5-0 in the second leg, about halfway through this first half, and now there's a highlight straight from the restart. What can the Lithuanian side do, trying to get some respectability back to the scoreline over both legs, but so far playing out fairly similar to how it did when we took these guys on 2 years ago, but they are holding the ball up fairly well here off the restart as they try and get something on the score sheet against us for the first time in the 4 meetings that we have had between our teams, and they start doing some good passing here. Inside the final third, long shot, it actually comes off the crossbar, so a good chance there for the Lithuanian side, but it does remain 5-0 on aggregate at the half-hour mark of the second leg. And that is half-time in the second leg, 5-0 up on aggregate, 2-0 up on the day, and we are doing things pretty well as well. Žalgiris Vilnius only threatening with that shot, which did come off the crossbar, but otherwise complete domination from us. We'll tell the boys that we are happy with how things are going. Hopefully we can grab a few more goals in the second half. About 20 minutes into the second half, and we have our first highlight, still 5-0 up on aggregate. We do try and keep possession there, but it's a bit of a poor pass there from one of our players down that right-hand side, and they do get the ball back here, do Žalgiris Vilnius, and try and get something going on the counter-attack. Nice little pass there, a little bit of flair shown from the Lithuanian side, and hopefully we can hold out as they look to score their first goal against us in the 4 times that we have played this side so far in Champions League qualifying, and they do keep the ball quite well here in this first highlight of the second half, albeit they have a ton of work to do to try and get through. They should really not be making their way through now, but they chip the goalkeeper there through Beneta, and they finally do score a goal against us. That might be my fault. I tried to go attacking for this second half to really put the foot down on the day just to make sure that we did win both legs, but they are right back in this one now, albeit only on the day we are still 5-1 up on aggregate, but a nice goal there for the Lithuanian side. And up to the 68-minute mark, we are going to make a few changes here. Xavier Mbiyamba has picked up a yellow card, so Michael Biedrzycki can come on for him. And while we are here, Alejandro Meza not having a good game out there on a 6.5 rating, so I think we will give Runnar Sigurbjornsson a little bit of time in the first rotation here for these last 20 minutes or so. Just one sub left to make inside these last 20 minutes, but still 4 goals up on aggregate. And up to the 76-minute mark, we're going to make our last substitution. Fredrik Larsson only on 6.4 out there today. Sergio Cadena to come on for him. 2-1 up on the day with 14 minutes left, but 4 goals up still on aggregate. 79 minutes gone. We now have another proper highlight here in the second half, and Benjamin Rubio does win the header, finds Patrick Nygaard, and he tries to get something going here down the right-hand side as we try and seal this result in the second leg to go alongside our first league win. And Patrick Nygaard just holds the ball up there outside the box. Good short passing, Sigurbjornsson, and a ton of spice puts that in for Benjamin Rubio. He gets yet another goal in the Champions League, and that should be enough to seal the second league victory to go alongside our first league victory. That should help us out coefficient-wise, and we do make it 6-1 on the day. Sigurbjornsson, fresh off the bench, gets an assist. Really nice finish that on the volley yet again by Rubio again in that top right corner. 2 goals up on the day, 5 goals up on aggregate inside the last 10 minutes. And that is full time in the second leg. It was pretty comfortable over both legs. In the end, we picked up 3 goals in both legs. They did grab one back in the second leg, deservedly so, thanks to that nice chip shot by Beneta, and they did look a little bit more threatening in the second leg, but in the end it was a pretty comfortable win. Benjamin Rubio picking up a few more goals to add to his tally as the top goal scorer in the Champions League, and we will make our way through to the third qualifying round off the back of a 6-1 win. We will come back shortly and reveal who we are playing in tomorrow's episode. And off the back of that second qualifying leg win, here are the other results from the Champions path of the Champions League qualifying. You can see there all the teams who have gone through from our area of the draw, and the tie that we were keeping an eye out on throughout our game was the tie just above ours there on the list. It was Finland's Inter Turku taking on Northern Ireland's Glentoran, and it is going to be a very interesting clash coming up in tomorrow's episode, because the winner of that was FC Inter Turku from Finland. So it is a proper Nordic derby coming up in tomorrow's episode. We are taking on Inter Turku, a team who we have definitely not faced before in any European qualifying. I think this is the first time that we have faced a team from Finland in European qualifying. Having a look at these guys, they are a club who haven't tasted a great deal of success, albeit since the save has started. They have won the top division in Finland 2 years, including last year. Of course, that is why they are in the Champions path of the Champions League, and they do have the exact same reputation as us, which is a little bit interesting considering we did make the Conference League final last season. Maybe that doesn't update until the end of our domestic season, but they could be an interesting team coming up in the third qualifying round of the Champions League. That is usually the stage when things start to get a little bit tougher in terms of winning matches, and that is who we have to get past if we want to make our way into the Champions League playoff and match what we have done over the last couple of years. But considering we are playing a team from the Finnish division, that is actually a league which is ranked lower than ours. It is not often we get to take on a team from a division ranked lower than ours in the Islands Dildon, but that is going to be the case in tomorrow's episode. They're currently mid-table in that league as well, so you would think based on that, that is a tie. We should be winning quite comfortably as well, but we will see what happens against a team with quite a bit higher reputation than what we have taken on so far in Champions League qualifying this season. And there you can see that the first leg is going to be played at our home ground, the second tie being played in Finland. So a good Nordic derby to round off the week, and if we can get through that, we at least guarantee ourselves our place in the Europa League, at least for this European season. But our goal is definitely making the Champions League proper for the second time in the save. But if you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow, where we have a Nordic derby against Inter Turku in the third qualifying round of the Champions League, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.